What's up, everybody? I'm Dr. Jordan Weber. Today we're going to go over the full mobility sequence, followed by some exercises to improve the neck, shoulders, and hips. So first, let's start with our morning cars. It's only going to take roughly about 10 minutes. If you want to skip this 10 minutes and go right into the neck, shoulder, and hips, you can go ahead and do that. So what we're going to do is start kneeling or standing. We're going to squeeze the fists. Spread the floor apart with the feet if you're standing, or just hold tightly like we are here. The reason why I like this position is because you're locked and you are nice and steady and tense. What we're going to do is keep our abs nice and tight, good posture here. Squeeze the fists, chest is up, chin is slightly down. Starting with our neck, we're going to start with neck flexion, rotation, bend into that side, extension, lateral bend into the other side as you rotate and flex down. 2 more. Just follow the circle. Let your chin lead the way. Just scrape the edge of the circle, trying to find as much space as possible during these 3 reps. Once you finish those 3 reps, come back to neutral, loosen up, take an inhale. Start the other side, flex down, rotate the other way, bend, extend. Scraping the edge of the circle. If there's any pain, just go around the pain and just make note of that on a piece of paper later, saying, right closing angle pinch pain, wherever it may be, if it's on the left side or right side. And finishing up your last rep there. Okay, now we're going to get the thoracic spine, again, standing or kneeling. If this is too much on your feet and knees, and you can always just do this standing. Try not to shift the hips back and forth, the shoulders side to side here. What we're going to do is just give yourself a hug, spread the floor apart with your feet, or just hold steady where we are kneeling. We're going to rotate, bend, extend back, just like the neck, bend into the other side as you rotate to the other side, and flex forward. Same rotation, same way. Rotate, bend, extend, rotate, bend, flex forward. 1 more. Good. Back to neutral. Start over, other way, flex forward, rotate the other way, bend into the side, extend, bend, rotate, and flex. Find your circles here. Try not to shift your hips or your lower body, just moving the upper back. So there's our thoracic spine, or our upper back. Let's go ahead and get our glenohumeral joint. We'll do this one half kneeling, or you can do this standing with a split stance. What I'm going to do here is just push into the wall. You can extend the arm just like this as well. Actually start like that, just to give myself a little bit more intensity here, or radiation, just recruiting more muscle fibers. So holding on here, squeezing the right fist. I'm going to start with my right shoulder. Left leg is forward because I'm utilizing my right leg, or my right arm. So squeezing the fist, going to shoulder flexion without arching the back. Try not to arch the back. From here, internal rotation as you go into extension, all the way down to the side. Other way. Remember, carving out the circle, external rotation, turning the palm in, and all the way forward. So notice the back of the hand here. Back of the hand all the way up here. Then turn the palm out, reach back. Back of the hand next to the side. Hold here. Extension, external rotation, flexion. 1 more time. Squeeze the fist this time. internal, extension, extension, external. Good. Let's get the other side. Remember, we're at about 30% intensity. We're not going through it too slow, but we're not going to it too fast. So here we go, left side or other side, flexion, internal rotation as you reach back. Definitely a lot less space on the shoulder. Extension, external rotation, flexion. Definitely a lot more neurological feedback. There's definitely something going on here. All the way flexion, internal rotation as you reach back, back of the hand next to the side. Extension, external rotation, flexion. One more time, squeeze the fist. Now, if you want to block it to make it really hard, you would bring your arm back just like this. Same thing. And then you would try to make that circle. Notice that I can barely make that circle because I'm not able to shift this shoulder forward. So you're actually blocking it. And there's a lot of different blocks you can do. So that was shoulder. Now we're going to go ahead and get the elbows and wrists. Standing or sitting or kneeling. Supinate, flex, pronate, extend. Keep the elbows glued to your rib cage. Squeeze the biceps and the triceps here as much as you can. This is one I barely feel, so I really have to squeeze my elbows. Other way. But I definitely get cracks and crinks going on here, so I know that I'm loosening up something here. Especially just trying to maintain this, doing this every day in the morning. I like to do these with my shoulders abducted. So supinate, bend, pronate, extend. Again, if you're kneeling and it hurts your feet, you can always stand. Or you can do this in a chair. Okay, supinate, bend, pronate, extend. Now we're just gonna go into internal rotation here. Squeeze the fists. Now, keep going into internal rotation until your shoulders fall off. They won't fall off. Go as far as you can. As long as there's no pain, definitely gonna feel a stretch. Other way. Now if this is too high, you can always bring your arms down or a little bit lower. Back, now we're gonna go into external rotation. Palms are up, squeeze the fists. Trying to open up those palms, straighten the elbows. Go as far as you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, relax. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and get our wrists. So keep the elbows glued to the rib cage, extend the wrists down. So that's the wrist extension. They're gonna go in, inversion here, radial, ulnar deviation here, and then up into flexion, and then radial deviation and extension. Okay, and we're just gonna follow that path. Other way. Try to keep your fingers straight and try to keep your try not to go like this with your forearms, just your wrists are moving. So to see if you're doing it right, put your phone or your wallet on top of your wrist here and see if you can keep it nice and steady. You can also do these one at a time, just like this, and then you really feel the tendons moving here and the articulations of the wrists. Okay, that's what we're looking for, contracting everything as we do this. All right, now we're gonna get into our hip, knee, and lower body. But first, let's go ahead and do our lower back and spinal cord here. We'll get into cat, round the back out, tuck the chin, flex the toes into the ground, or extend the toes into the ground, dorsiflex the ankles into the ground. Knees are bent at 90 degrees, elbows are extended 180 degrees. Wrists are extended here, so we are doing a wrist extension. And our back is rounded, our scapula is protracted, our neck is flexed,
and our back is flexed here. Our hips are anteriorly, or our hips are posteriorly pelvically tilted, which means our hips are tucked underneath. That's why we say tucked, because it goes underneath. It really curls in. And then when it curls out like this, that's going to be your anterior pelvic tilt. So we're just going to focus on anterior pelvic tilt and posterior pelvic tilt from the cat position. So going from posterior tuck, anterior hinge, posterior tuck, anterior hinge, posterior tuck, so PT, and then AH. Like going up toward the sky, and PT, scared, I guess, I don't know. Alright, hold here, cat pose, round the back, tuck the chin. Now we're going to go all the way up the back, starting at the low back, starting with your hip hinge, anterior pelvic tilt, low back, lower lumbar to the lower T-spine, to the mid T-spine, to the upper T-spine, to the cervical, all the way to cervical extension. We're going to hold here. I told you we're going to work on our neck, and we're going to focus holding right here. Staying in cow pose or camel, we're just going to rotate the neck to the right, hold here. We're going to go to your end range, hold right here with the anterior pelvic tilt. Really look over that right shoulder, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Now let's look over the left shoulder. Keep your hips hinged here. Really push into the ground. We want to retract the scapula. Go ahead and look over your left shoulder. Hold it, go into its end range. 5, 4, 3, 2, back to neutral. Head is up here this time. Now low back, all the way to upper back, spinal cord, segmentation, until your head and neck are tucked under here. Hips are tucked, chin is tucked in, everything's tucked here. Now from here, we're just gonna bring our knees back, head forward. We're just gonna go with some scapular rotations here. So we're so this would be protraction of the scapula, retraction. Protraction, retraction, okay? And then we're gonna go to elevation, retraction, depression, protraction. Elevation, retraction, depression, protraction. Elevation, retraction, depression, protraction. Let's go the other way. Depression, retraction, elevation, protraction. Depression, retraction, elevation, protraction. Try to keep your integrity in your spine. Good. So that would be some scapular rotations. And to finish that up, cross the hand and focus on one arm, hand in front of the shoulder out about 10 degrees. Just rotate other way. Switch. Almost forgot our scapula. Good. All right, let's get our hips. We're going to use the wall a little bit if you want to. You don't need to. Bring this arm up a little bit and hands in knees position, knees underneath the hips. We're going to flex both of the feet. Keep this knee bent. If you want to put a tennis ball behind the knee, that's perfectly a good idea. So what we're going to do is bring the knee to the elbow or up toward the armpit. Abduct the hip out. Internally rotate as you extend. Back to start. And we're going to do 2 more rotations. And and back down. Now we're gonna go the other way. Bend the knee, hip extension here. Try to posterior pelvically tuck out, forward and back here. Let's get the other side. Trying to keep the whole body still. So if you feel like your whole body's moving, try to keep it still. That's kind of why I'm using the wall. I'm bringing this hand up a little bit. Flexing the knee here, flexing the ankle. Out, back, and up. Forward, out, internally rotate. Now we want that knee to be parallel or up as high as the hips, because that would show that you have good hip extensions, but what you're seeing here is bad hip extension. So when I go around here, I should look like this. It should come around and I should look like this, but in order for me to do that, I have to really arch my back, so that shows you that I don't really have a hip. So what you're trying to do is create a hip, and doing these cars every day are gonna help, but doing exercises that inhibit this stuff is really bad. All right, now let's go the other way. So all I'm really doing is just taking those joints through their full range of motion, assessing them, okay, through mobility, and then I can decide, all right, I need to do more hip cars, so I probably need to do them more daily. All right, so now let's get into our knees. Let's go ahead and hook one arm underneath the same sided leg and grasp onto the other arm or hand. Bring the knee or the foot off the ground. We're gonna internally rotate it and externally rotate it off the ground. Just see how that feels. Go into internal rotation or in and hold it. External or out, hold it. We're gonna extend the knee about 3/4 of the way up. Internally rotate or turn the foot in, and then flex the knee or bring the heel down. Out, up, in, down. Out, up, in, down. Out, up, in, down. Let's go the other way. In, up, out, down, in, up, out, down. One more. In, up, out, down. Okay. Let's get the ankle while we're here. Hold on to the shin. Interlace the fingers. Dorsiflex, plantar flex, dorsiflex, plantar flex, neutral, inversion, eversion, inversion, eversion, or supination, pronation, but we don't really, I guess whatever you want to call it. All right, now we're going to go in full circles. Trying to keep my toes still. They're going to want to move and open up and do a lot of different stuff. Trying to find that full circle. Noticing if it's harder to go in or out. One foot's going to be worse than the other, and that's good to take note of, because you always want to try to, you know, mimic the other side, the dominant side. That's always going to be the goal, right? It's like, okay, my right ankle hurts but my left doesn't, so obviously I want my left ankle to feel like my right ankle. Alright, go the other way. Remember, slow and controlled. Alright, now what we'll do is switch to the other side. For knee cars, externally rotate the tibia so the foot goes out. Try to keep the toes nice and straight. Try not to curl them up yet. So external rotation, internal rotation of the tibia. So external, internal, external, internal, external. Hold here at your end range. Feel this passive stretch. See how that feels. Internal rotation, end range. See how that feels. And just remember, that's a stretch that you can do and add weight or some type of restriction to this to increase
external and internal tibial rotation, which is really necessary with squatting and doing many different activities. So hopefully what we'll do here, now what we'll do next is hold on to the leg, external rotation here, extension of the knee, internal rotation of tibia, flexion of the knee, out, up, in, and down, out, up, in, and down, out, up, in, and down. And when I flex the knee, I'm trying to break my forearm. I'm not going to be able to, but I'm really trying to squeeze hard. All right, let's go the other way. In and up, out and down, in and up, out and down. I can already feel it in my ankle. This is my bad ankle. Okay, let's get the ankle now. Shins, point the toe, plantar flex, dorsiflex, plantar flex, dorsiflex, plantar flex all the way around, full circle, full range, finding the outer edge of the circle, noticing if there's anything going on there, and switch sides whenever you want. Sometimes I'm not ritualistic when it comes to the circle. Sometimes if I feel a spot, I'll hold there and go kind of in and around that spot, because I'm doing these all day. It's not like I just do this once and that's it. You know, if you're just doing this once and that's it, you're gonna get a good assessment, but you're not gonna be doing any treatment. So that's why you do this in the morning. You assess. As soon as you wake up, you're like, okay, I got some issues here in this left ankle, left hip, left knee, left everything for me. All right, now what we'll do is our knees, kneecaps, patella. So I got pants on, and you can do it through your pants or joggers, whatever it is, leggings. Probably not through jeans. So both of these legs are not contracting. This is the only mobility thing that we'll do where we're totally passive, okay? So what we're doing is we're pushing the kneecap around in a full circle. We're just seeing how that feels. Now, if it gets to a point where if I push into it and it hurts, okay, that's something just to take note of, all right? That might be an issue that you might want to get checked out if there's pain here, or you're not able to move the kneecap and it's locked, or you're not able to even control the kneecap. That's something that eventually you want to be able to do. So you should be able to go around 3 times one way, and then 3 times, let's go the other way. Other side. Super slow and controlled. This isn't something we just kind of push around. About 3 circles each side. All right, let's get those toes. Bring all 10 toes up off the ground. Hold here, so we're actively extending the toes. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now just the big toe up, hold here. Big toe is up, big toe is extended. Small toes are flexing into the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, and switch. Big toe down, small toes up. Hold here, actively pressing that big toe down. So what we're doing is we're going into inversion here. Okay, so the feet are going in and down, that's inversion. Now pinkies, or the small toes down, big toe up, and this is slightly eversion, but we're gonna try to keep the ball of that big toe down. Okay, so keep that down. We don't wanna go out just like that. So keeping that big toe up off the ground. Keep going and switch one more time here. Hold strong. Now we're gonna try to keep the ball of the pinky toe down as we keep the big toe down here. Trying to really plant the entire foot on the ground. Now we're just gonna bring all the toes. It doesn't matter where the toes are. We're just gonna go in as much as we can into inversion. Then we're gonna go to eversion and hold here. Okay. Hold here. If you want, you can always practice going on one leg to strengthen that area. Let's go in, hold here, same thing. You could try to balance on one foot. Okay, out, in. Alright, now we're going to bring all 10 toes up off the ground and try to separate them. Trying to separate the toes as far as you can, noticing if some of the toes don't separate, noticing that if the toes are still touching as you separate, noticing if the toes aren't moving at all and you have to move them yourself. You can always put pens and stuff in between your toes to help, you know, if you're just sitting on the couch. Now we're gonna squeeze the toes together as hard as you can. Squeeze them together, squeeze them, squeeze them, squeeze them, up and out. Squeeze them together, up and out. Okay, now pretend our toes are a piano. We're gonna go pinky to big toe down. All up, pinky, big toe down, up. Pinky, big toe down. And now all toes up. Just the big toe is gonna tap the ground 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that would be your morning mobility sequence. Now we're gonna get into some neck, shoulder, and hip stuff. So what we're gonna do is start in Sphinx pose on your stomach, palms face down. What we're gonna do here is just dorsiflex the back feet into the ground, press into the ground nice and steadily here. Everything's nice and engaged. We're gonna have a just a neutral pelvis. We're not pushing into the ground, or we're not going up toward the sky. Really just focusing on the lower back extension here. From here, lower back and thoracic back is extended, and what we're going to do is bring the head all the way up into extension. You'll hold here. You can go into your end range and hold for 10 seconds. Just breathe. And then from here, we're going to rotate over to the right shoulder or the left shoulder, doesn't matter. Go to your end range and hold. Other side, rotate. Keep the chin high. Hold. Slowly look forward, and we're going to flex the neck down, all the way down to the ground. Hold here. And from here, look over your right shoulder or left shoulder, chin down, hold here. Rotate to the other side. Back to neutral. And just relax. Back to the same position. We're going to do a full neck circle in this position here. So full thoracic back extension here. Chin goes down. Full circle, rotate, bend into the side, extension, other side and down. Rotate again. Bend and rotate. Alright, back to neutral, let's go the other way. Rotate, bend, extend, bend, rotate, flex. 2 more. One more. Okay. From here, what we're going to do is stay in this position. We're going to look over our right shoulder. And then from here, we're just going to bend our right elbow, and we're going to put our fist into our chin. So we're looking over our right shoulder, okay? And what we're gonna do is hold our end range in rotation here. And we're gonna start pressing the fist into the cheek and the cheek into the fist. About 10 to 20%. Hold here. We'll go to about 30 to 50. And then from here, try to go further in rotation and lift away from the hand. Let's go the other way. Now these are very light. Be careful with these. If that felt like it hurt, go with lower intensity. Okay, other way. So Sphinx pose, rotate. Then we're gonna start trying to rotate our face into the fist. Don't go to your full end range and don't go to your full intensity here. So you're just trying to rotate the face into the fist, 20% to about 50%. Hold here, lift away, and try to rotate further into the stretch, and then back. Okay, again, start with very light intensity and don't go to your full end range. Now for neck extension, what we're gonna do is just bring our hands behind our head here. We're gonna go into neck for neck flexion. So go into neck flexion, hands behind the head here, hold right here. Just gonna stretch and hold. And then from here, what we'll do is bring the back of the head, start pressing it into the hands, 10%, 20, and then 20 to 50, and hold. Remember, 50% shouldn't hurt. And then from here, go deeper into flexion, lightly here, and relax. Okay, now from here, what we'll do is neck extension. I'm going to go kneeling for this. And I'm just going to go into a kneeling position and bring my head slightly back, not to full extension, just to about 80% of my extension. I'm going to bring the back of my fist across my forehead. Okay, I'll show you from here. So I'm in extension. I'll stretch and hold for as long as I think is needed, and then I'll start pressing my forehead into my fist, about 20 to 50%, and then I'll go deeper into extension. So from here, 10%, 20, all the way to 50, and then slowly deeper into extension. So those would be some very, very light pals and rails, neck flexion, extension, and rotation. You can also do the same principle with the neck and lateral bend. So what we'll do is we'll get into a seated position, and I'll rotate, or I'll bend my neck to the side and stretch and hold. Lateral bend or lateral flexion of the neck. Hold here, breathe. And then I'll start pressing the outside of my head into my hand into my head, about 10%, and lightly to 50%. And then after a prescribed effort, I go back into full lateral bend, but taking it easy here. Okay, other side, lateral bend, hold here. Stretching the tissue. Now if you feel a closing angle pinch on this side, this would be something that we would not want to be doing right now. Just go back to slow neck carves. Okay, this would be the prerequisite. Now if there's closing angle pinch when you do that, and this isn't something we want to try today. So holding here, stretching the tissue. And then starting to press the outside of the head into the hand into the head. 10% to 30%. Hold. Then deeper into lateral bend or lateral flexion. And then back to neutral. Okay, so those would be some light pals and rails for flexion, extension, lateral bend, and rotation. Now, if we're looking at positional isometrics, this would be a step back from pals and rails. So going from cars to positional isometrics would be next, and then pals. Positional isometrics are just getting into the position and pressing into the hand here lightly and just positionally isometrically contracting. So those are what positional isometrics are. So you can do that for any end range. So end range, lateral neck flexion, something like that, holding here and just, you know, pressing into something. You can do that flexion, and you can also do that in extension. All right. Now we're going to get our shoulders a little bit more. So we'll lay on the stomach, and I'll bring my wrist underneath my forehead, and I'll bring this elbow out about 90 degrees, palm facing down. I'll take an inhale, I'll flex my feet. Now I do have my hips posteriorly pelvically tilted, so tucked into the ground. And then from here, what I'm gonna do is take an inhale, solidify, and then I'm gonna bring my hand off the ground into active external rotation of the glenohumeral joint. So here we go. Inhale, radiate, lift off. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly bring it down. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, radiate, lift off. 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly bring it down. One more. Inhale, tuck the pelvis, radiate, lift off. 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly bring it down. Let's get the other side. Dorsiflex, pelvic tuck, elbows 90 degrees, palm face down, forehead down the wrist here. Inhale, radiate, lift off. You can also go into end range rotation here, but we're not going to. And down. Inhale, tuck the pelvis, lift off. And down. One more time. Inhale, radiate, lift off. And down. Okay, so that'd be external rotation, active isometrics. All right, now we're going to go into swimmer hover. So back of the hand behind the head, fingertips touch, dorsiflex the feet. We're going to bring the elbows up, and then we're going to extend the elbows forward, and we're going to go back and then forward again. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take an inhale, tuck the pelvis, retract the scapula, hands up off the head, extend the elbows into a Y, hold, breathe, internally rotate, into extension. Try to get those hands, elbows up as high as they'll go, shoulders back. Then we're going to bend the elbows, back of the hands touch the lower back, and relax down. From here, retract the scapula. We're going to extend the elbows back into extension of the shoulder. Externally rotate the shoulders as you abduct and move into flexion
and elbow flexion of elbow and back down to where you started. So one more time. Okay, fingertips touch, retract, hover the elbows up, hands up, extend the elbows wide, internally rotate, palms up, extend back, elbow bent, and relax. Elbows up, straighten the elbows, extend the shoulders, externally rotate the shoulders as you go into abduction, into your Y, bend the elbows, down.
Whew. So that would be your swimmer hover. Now we're going to do our infinity. Horrible at these. There's two different types. So one, we're going to try both shoulders at the same time, and then we're going to use our legs for the infinity hover. So from here, we'll bring our left arm back into internal rotation and extension and elbow flexion here. My other shoulder is going to be into flexion and elbow flexion here. Okay, from here, face down. I'm going to hover up, straighten the elbows, abduction, switch rolls here, and back down. Relax. Inhale, solidify. Elbows up. Extend the elbows. Abduction. All the way around and down. Relax. Inhale and solidify. Straighten the elbows. Abduction. All the way around and down. One more time. Elbows lift up, straighten the elbows, abduction, all the way around and down. Alright, from here, we'll bring our arms overhead, point our toes. We're going to extend our extend our left wrist, and then we're going to flex our shoulder off the ground. As we do that, we're going to extend our opposite hip, keeping the hip off the ground and foot off the ground for now. Then at the same time, we're going to start bending the elbow and the knee. We're going to try to touch the hand with the foot and foot to the hand. Try to reach for the foot, try to get the foot to touch the hand, and then come back out. So side, right wrist extension, right shoulder flexion, left hip extension, bend both elbow and knee, try to get the hand to touch the foot, foot touch the hand, and relax. Try it on the other side. Left wrist extension, left shoulder flexion, right hip extension. Try to touch the hand to the foot, foot to the hand, and back. One more time, other side. Right wrist extension, right shoulder flexion, left hip extension, both elbow and knee bend. Try to touch the hand to the foot, foot to the hand, and back down. So that would be your infinity. The other one was your infinity hover, or vice versa, who knows. Alright. Now, we'll get into the hips. Go into your straddle position, just feet out. We're gonna hold here, okay? Just breathe. If you want, you can use a wall here. We're just gonna do a couple axials, hip axials, going internal rotation to external rotation. In and out. In and out. Now from here we're gonna bend the knees into our bear pose. Okay, bear posture. Okay, flex those feet up, dorsiflex. Knees are out. Gonna hold here, hands on the ankles. Head is up here, pressing into the wall. Or if you're not using a wall, just sitting up nice and straight. Breathe and hold. We do full pals and rail set in bear. And we're gonna do full pals and rails in our internal rotation. And that's gonna be it for today. So here we go. Hold here, breathe, inhale 4, exhale 8. From here, start pressing the hands into the ankles, ankles into the hands. Start intensifying the stretch here to 10%.